Everyone. This is me, your brother, your friend, Humanist TV on the show. It will be a very quick one this morning, as we go through the pains of trying to explain the abnormality that's actually taking place in the Nigerian state. Uh, it's really painful that we are where we are today. But nevertheless, we must do everything humanly possible to see that we bring peace and tranquility to our dear nation. And if you just come in, guys, please, I want you to just help share this word of freedom, and let's invite as many people as possible to the show today. Let's see how we can bring in people into the show so people can be informed, of what that is about to happen in Nigeria and why it is actually happening. Please just share this video, guys. If you are just coming for the first time, please give us a thumbs up, press the share button, invite people in, share it to WhatsApp groups, to Facebook messengers, to Instagram, share it around every share it to every. Sorry, guys, I was talking to my madam. Share it to every social media space, and let's take this out. Let's take this out. Maybe this will give a lot of us some encouragement, and will give us some zeal and power to confront the deadly fear that has actually gripped the entire heart of the Nigerian states. Particularly the so-called minority groups by these political bourgeois who decided to divide us along numerical strength. Okay, guys, I'm just trying to share, then before I go straight to the show for today. It's going to be a very short one, and it will be very powerful. As you all know, I come here and I talk about the what others will be afraid of. I say it, and what others cannot be able to explain on the show. On the Humanist show, is always very easy to be explained, in clear terms. Okay. Now, we need to go back to history a little bit. That will help. It will help me to buttress this very particular show I'm about to present to you guys. It will help me to buttress it a little bit. Somebody called me yesterday. I think it's from the north, anyways. And he said something. He said, "We, the Satanists, we are very, very weak. We are afraid, and that is why the North will continually to oppress and to make us like a second class citizen in our nation." But that was not actually his exact word. But I'm just trying to paraphrase what he said. Now, when he said that, I sat down a little bit. I began to think, how true are these statements? After going through the ages, I'm a child of it. That's why I want history to be returned back to Nigerian schools. But history is one thing that will actually give us our foundation, that will tell us who we actually were in the past, and also give us the confidence of who we need to be in the future. Listen, guys, if you watch these world superpowers today, what they do, they continually telling their people the exploit they did in the past, and actually give most of the new generation today in these superpower countries to believe if our ancestral father could do this, we can do it also. That's why I'm one hell of a guy who's advocating for the reintroduction of history into our schools. Now, when this guy said this, so I sat down, picked up my pen because that's what I do. I began to go back to history. In 1804, there was actually a jihad in the northern part of Nigeria. But one thing we need to know in that very scenario, which many people may have not known, is that that war was not won by the Fulanis. That war was actually won by the indigenous people of the northern part of Nigeria, the Hausas. History had it very clear that when Usman Dafodo came into the northern part of Nigeria, believing he's coming to do trade with these people, they gave him a portion of land where he can stay and do his regular business. He came with the Islamic religion, which was alien at that time to the north of Nigeria. And so at this time, corruption was already eminent in the north among the Hausa, Kunuris, and other tribes that actually make up the north as at that time. So he saw that little loophole, between these people, and he took advantage of that very particular loophole and began to convince. I will not say convert right now. Began to convince the indigenous northern Nigerians who were the Hausas and the Kunaris and the other tribes there, into accepting Islam as the only way in which they can eradicate the high level of corruption that was very predominant in their region. And many of these young guys who were actually disappointed in the leadership at that time, in the north of Nigeria, embraced the Usman Danfodio idea of eradicating, corruption, nepotism, favoritism, and all sorts, which is actually predominant today within the cycle of these people. But that is the game plan, because we all know that there's one thing they do good, is deceiving you, believing or trying to convince you that they are very, very, innocent, and they are truthful, they are straightforward, and at the end of the day, they're actually the opposite of what they actually claim to be. Okay, guys. Now, it was these people, these northern Hausas, that now joined Usman Danfodio and his emissaries from the other African countries who are also Fulanis like him. They actually invaded and conquered the traditional stools So what they were doing was they conquered the traditionals too. They took over the leadership of traditionals too. Then they imposed their ideology on the people. So the war was not actually between the Fulanis, which are the invaders, and the Hausa people. The war was actually the Fulanis and the Hausa people against the Hausa people. And most of the youth at that time were already inculcated, brainwashed into believing the ideology that was being put forward as at that time by late Usman Dan Fodio, which actually, rised into what we call today the Holy Jihad of 1804. Okay, guys, that's number one. So note today, if you are an Hausa man, note today you were actually defeated by the Fulanis. It was your people that actually defeated you guys. The sabotage that was in your people made you guys to lose that war to the Usman Dan Fodio and his group of bandits. Okay, guys, that's very clear. Now, the moment they succeeded in defeating the North, they were proceeding towards the South. Now, it has gone from trying to change a corrupt system into trying to invade the entire sub-region that made up today's Nigeria and the Cameroons. Anyways. So guys, you have to follow me today a little bit. Now, as they were proceeding towards the south, they actually got to Ilorin, which is now the headquarters today of Kwara State, and they actually also defeated the people there, also with the help of the indigenous people of Kwara. Particularly, there was a conflict between the existing king in Ilorin at that time and a gay brother or some of his relatives. So those people now took an advantage, conspired against him, and actually helped in killing their own brother, believing, based on the agreement that was reached between the Usman Dan Fodio team and him, that they are going to make him the king. But unfortunately, the moment they succeeded in executing or eliminating or assassinating the king, then they also killed him and introduced the emirship to Ilorin. Now, this is where it becomes sweeter, guys. The moment the other Yoruba nations heard of what has befell Ilorin, they waged a war against the Usman Dan Fodio rampaging killer S-men. And they pushed them back again to the north. So, okay, guys, you get that now? Mentions that it was the British intervention that ended the conquest of the entire Nigerian state by the Fulani. It was a lie. They were actually stopped in the west by the Yoruba military force, and they were stopped in the south by the Benin Empire military force. That was that they couldn't go beyond the Akoko Edo area, the northern part of Edo State. There was a great war there, and they retreated after they had great casualties during the war between the Great Benin Kingdom and the invaders from the north. And I'm not telling you to believe me, like Reno Omokri will always say. He said, go press the Google will give you an answer. So, the South actually defeated the rampaging Fulani herdsmen invaders during the 18th and the 19th century. before even the coming in of the white men. Now, having given you a little back history of the events that took place and how they succeeded in taking over the north and how they could not actually proceed towards the south because of the Yoruba military force and the Great Benin military force, who stopped them from proceeding towards the south, because that's the link in which they can be able to go into taking over any part of the southern Nigeria. Okay, guys. Now, having said that, the question now is, what gave them the infantry? What gave them the courage? What gave them the fearlessness that they possess today in the 21st century Nigeria? Why they become so fearless overnight? Now, let me also take you back again, a little bit backward. Maybe some of us would have grown as at this point in time that I'm going to talk about today. In the late 70s, early 80s to early 90s, we see Fulani herders in our communities. Okay? They were timid, they were fearful, but they were adventurous anyways. So I'm going to give them kudos for that. Okay? They were timid, they were fearful, they were adventurous. They come around us, they look very innocent, skinny, and all that and that. So we actually knew them to be this guy who do not actually have the charisma to be violent. That's why we were able to live with them for a very, very long time. If you go to Aduwawa in Benin today, they're actually practically everywhere around that area, because then we see them as this quiet, easygoing set of people. Okay, guys? Now, this timid, fearful, uncourageous group of boys today have become so wide that they fear nobody. What actually transpired? What gave them this courage that they have today? Let me also take it back a little bit again to other part of Africa in this present day. There are Fulanis in Ghana and many other parts of African nations. When this rampaging killer S-men began in Nigeria, they actually went a little bit further into the Republic of Ghana and some other countries within the West Africa sub-region. Now, when they got to Ghana, I'm going to use Ghana as an example. When they got to Ghana, the president of Ghana gave an order. Any Fulani man seen on site destroying people's farm, shoot aside. That singular order made the entire Fulani what's it called? Made the entire Fulanis herders in Ghana to proceed into Nigeria, because the environment wasn't conducive for them to create the kind of havoc they intended creating. So the government of the day made them to understand, you are not above the law. So whatsoever you do, there is a consequence or consequences for your actions. So that immediately gave them a signal that no, this area is no-go area for us. They left. The same thing happened in every other part of the sub-Sahara area where they actually wanted to perpetrate the same kind of evil they are perpetuating today in Nigeria. My question is this: why are the Nigerian Fulanis fearless, courageous, and daring at the same time? Why are the Nigerian Fulanis fearless, courageous, and daring in the 21st century global world? This is my answer. Okay, I'm going to take it back again, guys. You know, I love taking people back. So I want to build something that will give us, you know, I want to give us something that will actually take us to where we need to be. Okay, so I'm going to take us back again. During the time of the military eras, they were actually, most of them were Fulanis, but we never heard of these guys. You know why? Because the people that were in government there were not sympathetic. They were not religious fanatics. They were not people who actually believes in a civilian trying to mingle into the affairs of a military government. So they never gave them time. When Olusegun Obasanjo came into power in 1999, by 2003, his second tenure in office, then Muhammadu Buhari has already showed up his face in the political scene of Nigeria. Then the first thing they introduced was the Sharia. Like I told you, in the 3 or 4 videos past this week, I said, the Islamic religion, the Islamic, to every other Northerners or Muslims, is a religion. I said that. I said, but to the Fulanis, the Islamism is not a religion, it's a political structure. They used in gimmicking people into accepting, or they use it in a way. They use it in a way that the moment you try to speak against the Fulanis, you are speaking against Islam. And every other Islam or Muslim faithfuls all around the world will come after you. That is the plan that was created. That's why you see when we're talking about Sheikh Dr. Isa Ibrahim Pantami, the guy who was a fanatical, the guy who was an extremist, the guy who was a sympathizer, the terrorist organization as the ISIS and the what is it called? The other one, Al-Qaeda. The moment we try to make the world know of the atrocity that this very particular guy had created, they quickly came in. Instead of allowing this guy, Pantami as a man, to face the consequences of his actions and inactions, they quickly came in and turned the entire thing into a religious coloration. And immediately that was done, the Hausas, the Fulanis, even the Muslim in the West, immediately sprang into action and began to support this guy. Now, let us take that aside, guys. So let's go over again now. They never had that power, but in the second term of Olusegun Obasanjo, they used the Zamfara state governor, the then Yarima, to start the process of the actualization of the Islamization and the Fulanization of the Nigerian state. People are going to say, why did you use Fulanization? I'm going to say that. I've already told you before. To the Fulani man, Islam and Fulani are one and the same. That's to them. To them, it's political. It's not really a religion. Just get that. That's their belief. To them, it is a political thing, not a religion thing. But to other faithfuls all over the world, Islam is a religion, just like the Christian religion. Okay, guys? So to these people, nothing about religion there is just political. Get that, guys? Now, they came with the Sharia. And before you knew it, in less than 4 months, or thereabout, the entire northern state, except Benue and Plateau, had become a Sharia state. That was the beginning of the power that was not given to these people. Where President Olusegun Obasanjo would have reacted immediately, because it was actually imposed on Nigerians by the caliphate. Hear this now. In the 1999 election, due to 1999 election, Olusegun would have won the election. Would have been Olufalaye in a normal contest. We all know President Olusegun Obasanjo was in prison since serving jail terms for attempted coup, according to General Sani Abacha of blessed memory. And as at this time, the June 12, annulment won by Chief Emko Abiola was already ravaging the entire nation. And they knew the only way they can be able to pacify the West is to bring a Westerner to contest the presidency into a new dispensation known as the Nigerian Fourth Republic. And when the caliphate looked around, they saw that there was no other person who was actually in support of the cancellation of the June 12, 1983 general election, except Olusegun Obasanjo. Get this, guys, very clearly. Okay? So you know why Olusegun Obasanjo became the president of Nigeria in 1999. Not that he not actually wanted any part to shift to the south, but in order to quash the rising, cry for justice and the disintegration of the Nigerian state due to the annulment and the death of Chief Emko Abiola of blessed memory, made them to say, okay, we must do everything humanly possible to actually silence the West by giving them power, and they actually gave them the power in 1999, but they had to bring in a stooge, a northern stooge, into the government. Not an independent-minded person. Guys, not an independent-minded person. They brought in a northern stooge to take over. And when we say northern, and let me also say something here. When we talk about the northern Nigeria, we are talking about the Fulani Nigeria. There's no other north apart from the Fulani north. As of today. There's no, because each of the empires or the kingdoms in the north is controlled by a Fulani emir. So that shows there is no northern Nigeria. You will have the northern Fulanis. So they actually brought him to government. And in the second time, he refused to say nothing because he was a product of the caliphate and the Fulanized north. He was under an obligation. He was under an oath to protect the interest of these people. Okay, guys? He kept quiet. He didn't say anything. And with the constitution that brought about the Fourth Republic, which Obasanjo actually spearheaded, Nigeria was a secular state. So therefore, there was no need of having another law, particularly a religion coloration law, whereby in every state in the federation, there are Christians, there are Muslims, and there are traditionalists. So it was not supposed to have happened, but it actually did happen. That was the water ground for the courage of the Fulanis. Okay? Now, within that last 4 years of Olusegun Obasanjo, when he left government, there came in Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. At that time, the Sharia law has already gained ground in the north. And a lot of atrocities have already been committed by the government and the Sharia court and all these Hiba, whatever, police that they brought up to actually control people and check people. They did that. Then the Sharia law gave birth to extremist messages. Before now, there was no extremist message. The Sharia law gave birth to the extremist message, which was propagated by Muhammadu Yusuf. These are all works. And then it was in Borno State. And Muhammadu Yusuf always used this word, this statement, I'm going to say it very clearly, that they were used. Is set, just like the set of Sheikh Dr. Isa Ibrahim Pantami. He had a set. Now, the Muhammadu Yusuf set was used by the then Borno State governor during the election. Sheriff. And after the election, one of their own was actually appointed as a commissioner in that government. When Yar'Adua came in, because Yar'Adua was also a liberal Muslim, not a fanatical one. Guys, just listen to this, step by step. Yar'Adua saw, because he just understood what is about to happen. He's a Muslim, he's a Fulani Muslim also. He's a Fulani, he understood what the heck is about to take place. Immediately ordered the military to quash the uprising, fanatical messages that will radicalize the Amajiris in the north as fast as he could. Unfortunately, Muhammadu Yusuf was arrested by the military, his commissioner, and some other people that were actually involved in the new trend that was alien to the African Islamic culture or preaching at that time. They might have the mindset, but the fear was there that if they do this kind of messages, maybe the state will come after them. Immediately, they were extrajudicially killed. I'm going to say this very clearly, guys. The policemen who actually did that knew what they were doing. I'm very sure they were actually off the Fulani extraction. Or they are the sympathizers of today's event. They did it in order to raise another set of sympathy toward the radicalization of the Northern Fulani extraction. It worked. It worked. It worked. It actually worked. The order to kill Muhammadu Yusuf and his commandant was not from the presidency of Umar Musa Yar'Adua, but it was taken by the Borno state governor, who also was actually pinpointed to be one of the sponsorers of the Boko Haram threat. So, when this happened, Abubakar Shekau, who was the second in command to Muhammadu Yusuf, felt that they were treated bad, they were killed without no justification, they were not given an opportunity to actually hear their views. They first of all started against the government of Borno State, not the Islamization of Nigeria. Go read history, guys. The actual Boko Haram began in fighting for the injustice that was meted on their leader, Muhammadu Yusuf. That was the reason why they pick up arms against the state of Borno. Along the line, in order to bring to pass the ideology of Islamizing the entire nation, some political gladiators who are also religious fanatics in the north took advantage of the insecurity that has just taken place as a result of the assassination or the extrajudicial killing of Muhammadu Yusuf, the leader of the Boko Haram sect, bought in and transformed, metamorphosized this rampaging sect into a religious sect. They began to attack the churches. They began to attack the churches and begin to kill people who are not of faith with them. Let me also say something very clear here, guys. The people that killed Muhammadu Yusuf were Muslims. They were of the Christian extraction. The policemen that actually killed Muhammadu Yusuf and all his commandants were Muslim police. So, now, how does one guy did something wrong, another faith is buried the bond? Guys, just follow this old narrative, okay? You're going to see why when they became fearless and courageous very soon. Now, when that happened, they took over Sambisa forest because their houses were being destroyed. They were being chased around. So they went into the forest. And my question is this: how did they get ammunitions? Only God knows. Only God knows. So how did they become so powerful? Only God knows. But that aside. As at this time also, they were still very timid. They became a sect. They were declared to become a terrorist group by President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. And they were doing a lot of havoc. 2 weeks to election, they were being disseminated. They were being pushed to the brink of Chad Basin. Election was conducted in all the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory in the 2014-2015 general election that was won by the then Major General Muhammadu Buhari, who is now President Muhammadu Buhari. And one of the cardinal messages of Muhammadu Buhari was, I'm going to end insecurity in 6 months. We never knew the ending of insecurity is going to increase the level of insecurity in the nation, because he was very sympathetic to the cause. of these guys. If you watch the news I did yesterday, I read 10 intriguing, news headlines that carries what President Muhammadu Buhari said while he was still in the opposition between 2008 to 2003 to 2013. We all knew how he had been very sympathetic to these people, how he had said everything in protection of the Fulanis and the Boko Haram and Islamic faith. He has never been apologetic about his stance. He has never been. I also said how we had an issue between the Fulanis and the state in the west, and how Buhari came and led the delegate, even when he was already contesting for the position of the president, led the delegate to give a sound warning to the governor of that state that if this happen again, then they're going to get what they actually wanted. Okay? We also knew everything that we were saying during the election. The killing Boko Haram is depopulating the north, and the killing Boko Haram. They said a lot of things that actually gave rise to the courage, because these guys started saying, "Oh, we have somebody who will speak for us." That's why they fought tooth and nail in 2015 to make sure that President Muhammadu Buhari becomes the president. All the Metiala Kato Ore, the Metiala Breeders Association, the Fulani Nationality Movement, every of them put their hands together to make sure that the president of today comes into power. The reason was simple. He's coming in, his body language will give them enough courage and power to bring to pass their idea, to bring to pass their plan of turning the entire Nigerian state into a Fulani state, not an Islamic state. Get it clearly, guys. Okay? Like I said, Islam to Fulani are the same. To them, it's a political structure. But to others, it's a religion. So, okay? Get that now. Get that very clearly, guys. Okay. Now, when he came into power, he talked about the designation and all that and that. Immediately, the Boko Harams, let me also say something. The Boko Harams said it's a mixture of both the Hausas, the Kanoris, and the Fulanis. So it's a mixture of the entire north. And some Satanas were also part of the Fulani of the Boko Haram set. Now there came a new breed. The most deadliest terrorist organization in the world as of today. Second most deadliest after Boko Haram is the Fulani killer herdsmen, according to terrorism index. They came out, decided play two, just to watch what the president was going to do. They saw the president said nothing. They went to Benue. They wreaked great havoc on Benue people. We all cried foul. We shed tears. We screamed. The president said nothing, did nothing. Rather, his media aide, Femi Adesina, came out and said, we should surrender our lands if we want to live. We all heard that. Surrender your land if you want to live. And when they saw the body language, that the body language was in support of their actions and inactions, they moved southward. They moved southward. Today, kill a Fulani man, the police will come after you. The military will come after you in 2 days. We all heard of what a governor said. Governor of Enugu State, Ifeanyi, that he was on the call with the presidency for hour plus. They kept him on hold. He called back again for another 2 hours. They kept him on hold. While he was still on hold to speak to the president in order for him to give permission to the commissioner of police in the state and the GOC commandant of the army, the Fulanis have already struck. And he said, in less than 1 hour, after that very particular attack on the people of Enugu State, a combined team of the Nigerian police, Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Navy, Nigerian soldiers, all the paramilitaries were already in the community, trying to make sure there is no reprisal from the people against the Fulanis. This is where the courage you think they have courage comes from. They know when they attack, they have a clean atmosphere to do that. And the moment they are done, because there is some kind of a link. No wonder Tiwa Jajuma said that the military are colluding. They are colluding with these people. Yeah, have you ever seen where the Fulani elders are operating? And sometimes they operate for 2-3 hours. Have you ever seen that the police or the military or the Air Force coming into that scene to stop the havoc they are wreaking on the people? Have you ever seen that? Can anybody answer me? Have you ever seen that? Have you ever read it? That while the Fulanis were in operation, whether the Boko Harams of today, or have you ever seen that? It's impossible. The Fulanis elders would have succeeded in wreaking havoc on the people, and while the people are preparing for a reprisal, the military will come in and even arrest the people who were being killed because they are trying to avenge the death of their own people. So how do you expect an ethnic group that is backed up by the presidency, in a presidency of Nigeria whereby the president is like a demigod? They will have courage. They will be fearless. They will be bold. Arrest a Fulani man, take him to the prison, take him to any police station, go back the following day, he would have been released. So, the body language of the president today has given these guys the effrontery that they possess today in dealing with issues in Nigeria as of today. Okay, guys. Just 1 minute, guys. Yes. I think like we'll do that. Oh, sorry, guys. I just went there to do something. Okay, so you see that at the end of the day, this whole thing is all about the language, the body language of the leaders of today who are actually up for this session. Let's go for that quickly because I'm not going to take your time today. Do you know today, from the presidency to the Senate president to the deputy speaker of the House to the chief judge of the federation to the minister of finance to the MD NNPC, to the Nigerian Port Authority, to the military, to the Air Force, to the police. Practically every sector in Nigeria today are being controlled, not by the Northerners, are being controlled by the Fulani. As I said, the Fulani is the North. The Hausas are slaves in the North till tomorrow. You cannot get a Fulani gate man. You only have an Hausa gate man. You cannot get a Fulani beggar. You have an Hausa beggar. They created it to be like that. So, in all the military parastatals in Nigeria today are controlled by the Fulanis. The presidency, which is the head of the executive, is controlled by Fulani. The legislature, which is the Senate, the head of the Senate, is controlled by Fulani. The chief judge of the federation is controlled, the judicial arm of government is controlled by Fulani. So the three arms of government that make up, a democratic system, the legislative, the executive, and judiciary, are controlled by the Fulanis. And all the 17 states in the north, apart from Plateau and Benue, are under the control of the Fulanis. So you guys can tell me this. If you, and they give them a leverage based on their utterances, they give these people so much power to continually wreak havoc on the people. We all know when the Eastern Security Network was actually trying to chase out the Fulanis from their forests, when Governor Akeredolu of Ondo State was trying to promulgate a law that would help in the regulation of unregistered people living in our forests, the Zamfara State Governor, whereby there is high level of insecurity in the state, came out and began to attack the certain states. And they started to keep quiet. Because of why? They are afraid. I just tell you what he finally went through. The military, the entire military system in Nigeria refused to speak to him. They refused to speak. So they knew that if they do anything that will not be according to what they expect, the result is going to be that they will just send these people, they go kill their people. The government will not say anything. Then when they are done, the government will come and protect them and give them a cover up. We heard of a rumor from one guy that how many thousands of Fulanis are actually residing in the army barracks. That's who they are. Everywhere today is controlled by these people. So if that is the case, then it becomes next to impossible for anybody to do anything, and it give anybody a courage. So he said, if I kill you, nothing happens. You can't kill me in return, because before you do, military would have come to save me from you. That's it. And how many of these kidnappers are Fulani kidnappers that you have seen that are actually passed through the judicial process? They capture Boko Harams, but they kill ESM members. They captured Fulani headers and bandits, but they wipe out their IPOB members. So what are we going to say about that? Now, I also see one of the things that gives people so much courage in the Nigerian setting. This is a governor speaking. The truth about it is Malam Nasser El-Rufai is a bigot. is one of the problem of the Nigerian state. He has made so much provocative statements in the past, which no government in the South have been able to stood against this maggot. None have been able to stand against him. None have been able to speak to him. The reason I can't actually tell, this guy is a dwarf. He's a bigot. He's a fanatic. He's an extremist. Look at what he said here now. Because when I talk about we should take Islam away, guys, we should remove Islam. The Fulanis does not believe in Islam as a religion. They use Islam as a cover up for them to sell their evil and demonic agenda. So what they do is they colorate it with Islam in order for you to be scared of speaking against them. Because you speaking against them, inevitably you are speaking against Islam as a religion. And that will spark up sentiment from other Muslim faithfuls in Nigeria and all over the world. This is the plan. Look at what El-Rufai said in yesterday's Punch. Said, Fulani will always revenge injustice, says Malam Nasari El-Rufai. Fulani will always revenge injustice, says Malam Nasari El-Rufai. I'm going to read that to you, and I'm going to do a little analysis on it. I'll be done for today, guys. Governor Nancy El-Rufai of Kaduna State says the Fulani tribe will always take revenge whenever they suffer injustice. And I want you to ask this man, what is the definition of injustice? You see, because this is a governor speaking, giving so much support to the killings that is happening in Nigeria today. Like I told you, because this is a Fulani government. So they can say anything, they can do anything, they are not being held accountable. Do not forget, Gabashew says, Patami said what he said when he was a youth. A guy that was 34 years when he made comment is a youth. Today, they killed Ikonso that is just 30-something years also. So why do they not take Ikonso's, actions and inactions as a result of youthful exuberance? The 11 guys they killed yesterday, who actually went to attack, the military formation in Imo State, they are youths. I'm not sure they are up to 35. Okay, guys, why would the police have to kill them, knowing fully well that they are actually still very immature in their thinking faculty? But no, when it comes to the South, it is easy for these people to take actions against the Satanas, kill them at will. But when it comes to the North, they have a way of painting the entire thing they do in order to favor them. How can the governor be saying to you that the Fulani never forget injustice? They are ready to revenge. How do they revenge? Killing people, taking laws into their hand. A governor is saying that his people has the capability, the right to take laws into his hand. I am very sure if this statement was made by Wike of River or any of the Satan governors as of today, the DSS will come for that guy. The president will come out and read a very long, useless, baseless, senseless, statement in trying to debunk or to say the person is actually inciting an ethnic war or crisis in Nigeria. But no, this is coming from one of the rulers of Nigeria. Therefore, nobody cares because they have the right to say what they want to say, how they feel, and nobody dare talk about it. Why? Because the government of the day gave them so much power because of his body language showing sympathy to his kinsmen. So he, however, said they accept their fate whenever they are convicted of a crime. They went to kill people in Enugu State. They actually raped a woman, killed her husband, and killed the pregnant woman after they raped her. That brought an uprising in Enugu State in 2018, 2019. And the people decided to take a revenge on them. Are you going to tell me that what happened then was injustice on them? They went into people's farms in Benue, in Edo, and every other part of the state, destroying people's farms, setting them on fire, operating people's cassava and yam, and giving it to their cattle to feed on. And when the people comes in, they massacre the people. When the people decide to take an uprising against them, they retrieve and come back and killing the entire community. You see the kind, what gives them the courage that they have today, that they have a backup somewhere. A governor of a state is saying this. How do you think this man can actually provide justice when it has to do with the Fulani extraction? Question. How do you think this man, a governor, an elder statesman in a country called Nigeria, made this statement yesterday? Eddie Rice said this on Thursday during a webinar organized by the African Leadership Group. The governor was asked to clarify his tweet in 2012, wherein he said, anyone, soldier or not, that kills the Fulani takes a loan repayable one day, no matter how long it takes. Erifai had been asked why he made the comment and if the Igbo would be justified to take revenge on Nigerians that killed them during the Biafra War. In his response, the governor said, if a Fulani man dies in a war, it is different. If a Fulani man is arrested by the authority and convicted, it is not an issue. What the Fulani man never forget is when he is innocently targeted and killed and the authority do nothing. He will never forget and he will come back for revenge. This is it. This is a governor speaking, my brother. Nigeria can never be won. Never. That's what I'm telling the South. Stop this idea of minority group. Kick it off from your medulla oblongata. If you are from the South, from the East, kill this idea of minority and come together as one entity and fight for the soul of the South. I have been an advocate of the Southern Nigeria from onset. Because of people like Nasai El-Rufai. Because I knew what he stood for since 1999 when he came into the limelight during the era of Olusegun Obasanjo. I knew the role he played during the Goodluck Jonathan, exit from government. He was actually the chief propagandist in the opposition as at that time to tell all lies humanly possible, both to the local and international community, that actually brought the then Barack Obama against the government of President Goodluck Jonathan. Why Goodluck Jonathan lost that very particular election. But that will be a story for another day. He's telling you, he doesn't care. If a soldier man kills a Fulani man, if a soldier man kills a Fulani man, the soldier man should be ready to pay with his life. If a soldier man killed a Fulani man, the soldier man will be ready to pay with his life. If a Fulani man raped your wife, bros, allow him to go free. If you kill him, you will one day pay with your life. Or your community will pay with their lives. If a Fulani man comes to your farm, allow him to feed his cattle on your land, on your crops that you have labored for. If you decide to raise up and deal with him, it is injustice to a Fulani man, and they will come after your head. So the Fulani define what is justice. The Fulani man define what is injustice. So the justice and injustice can only be defined on their table. That's what necessary if I say now. So they know what is injustice to them. They know what is justice to them. The only time a Fulani man will not revenge is when they are killed in war or when they are killed while they are stealing. But when they are feeding on your crops in your land, it is not injustice. Because they are the owner of the land, so they are justified by the action they took in going to your farm to feed on your crops. So this what he's telling you now. So when they go to your village and rape your wife, rape your mother and your sister, butcher your pregnant wife and take out the fetus, if you kill the man, you have just taken a loan that's going to be repayable one day. This is a statement from a governor of a multi-religious, multi-ethnical state in Nigeria. Because the truth of the matter is this, Kaduna is the most multi-ethnic religious state in Nigeria today. The Christian and the Muslim is nearly 50-50. And they also have a lot of traditional religion people there. It's not even as even, like the core north or the core south. It's not even like Benue. Because Benue is like 70% or 80% Christian, 20% Muslim. There in Kaduna State, where this man came from, it's more like a 50-50. But look at the statement that is coming from the mouth of a governor of a state. Okay, look at what he said. So it is a matter it is better to understand the context, given the context of what I tweeted, which had to do with an issue in Plateau State in 2012. He said, I hope you got the context. So it is not that Fulani will never forget. Anyone that goes through pain and sorrow either forget or doesn't forget. But when it is extrajudicial, when it is extrajudicial official, the attitude is completely different. I love this. Let me do on this, guys. He said when it's extra official or when it's extrajudicial, the attitude is different. Now, listen, guys. Listen very careful to this. Nasser El-Rufai is actually supporting, based on this statement today, is supporting the actions of the Boko Haram engaged in the Nigerian state. Based on this today, this guy is actually supporting the actions of the Fulanis engaged the Strata Kadunans. Based on this statement, this guy is actually supporting the actions of the Fulanis against the Plateau, the Benues, the Edos, the Oguns, the Enugus, and all that area where his people are wreaking havoc on them. Because I know in this states around, 1 or 2 Fulanis would have been killed when it was being caught in the heart. He called it extrajudicial killing because it did not pass the process of the law. But when this same group of Fulani ravaging criminals goes into people's home, shoot aside, and set them ablaze, it is not extrajudicial. Just truly, I expected the DSS and the so-called presidency. I don't even know what is presidency. I started hearing presidency in this government. I've never heard of that word presidency before. It was in this government I started hearing what they call presidency. So that is a story for another day. So to call this very matter order, if they want peace to continue in the nation called Nigeria. Every human being on earth has no human being has a monopoly to violence. None. No particular set of people has violence in their palm. We all know what is happening in the East today. The rate at which the Nigerian military swung into action in curbing the escalating insecurity in the East, particularly in Imo State, if they had done the same to the Boko Harams, if they had done the same to the Fulani, terrorist group and the bandits, we would have been where we are today. If the action that they took, they are taking today in the East was taken in Edo State, along the Bini Auchi, Abuja Road, precisely by a Hode, that have become, a point where people are being picked up randomly every day by these Fulani kidnapping headers. People have been released from that very particular forest. They've actually narrated vividly the entire, forest location, but nobody, not even one military man, have been sent into the forest to comb the forest and release the forest of these dreaded killers or kidnappers. But they were quick in going to the village of Ikonso and his members and figured their whereabouts in their hideout, and they were killed. Like I said, I am not one guy who supports insecurity or support people taking laws into their hands, but I'm trying to say what is good for one should be good for the other. If you want peace to be in the East, but the peace has already eluded the entire North. From the Northeast to the Northwest to the North Central, there is no peace. The kind of power, the kind of enthusiasm that you are displaying in stopping the rampaging, unknown government, according to you guys, in the East, it would have also been the same in your part, where your people are actually killing people indiscriminately. And guys, let me shock you. Let me say this. This is a secret. Don't tell anybody. Okay, guys? Do you know, have you found out that since the beginning of the unknown gunmen invading police formation in the East, the Fulani herdsmen have ceased? Have you guys noticed that? Don't tell anybody. That since the beginning of this unknown gunmen operating in the East started, the Fulani herdsmen have ceased. There's no Fulani killing anymore. There's no raping anymore. There's no invasion of communities anymore. Oh, Nigeria is a joke. One of my friends said Nigeria is a scam. Nigeria is a joke. It's just simple. These guys are playing on our intelligence. They buy into, I said this last year or to early this year when they formed the ESN. I knew that the government of Nigeria would find a loophole in it and invade the East. I said it. When some of us talk, people don't actually buy us, kind of. They believed, this guy is not popular now. This guy is not as popular as some of us who parade 10,000, 50,000 views in 1 hour, and so we don't need to listen to them. I remember I said this in one of my videos that, come on guys, we would have done it better than we are doing it now, because the end result is going to be the government of the Fulanis will take advantage of the loophole you just created, and they will wreak havoc on the southeast. They will kill our people. You know why they kill our people? It's to put fear on us. That's the truth. They put fear on you. Because when people are dying, people are scared. Some of the ESN will be scared right now. The rate at which they are being, marked, down for death. That's the truth of it. I said that. But people said that, no, you don't understand. The ESN is the way. Yeah, it was the way. Yeah, but I know who they are. I know who these people are. I know who these people are. I know how they do their things. Okay? So guys, the fearlessness and the courage of the Fulanis in Nigeria today is as a result of the body language of the Fulanis in power. We just read one now. We knew what Zamfara State Governor said. We have been hearing many of them speaking. They come up and they say things that gives these boys the effrontery to continually create havoc and do damages to the Nigerian state. Because they believe that if anything happens today, people are there to actually take them out. We all know what someone said one day. The person said, when they arrested about 10 Fulanis, I think it was in the West, and they gave them to the police. The following day, they went there, they have been released. He said, there's a call from above. Call from above came. They were set free. It's simple. That is a Nigeria for themselves. So they've taken over the entire system of Nigeria. That's why it is completely impossible for Nigeria to work. They only want to take over our lands. They have no land. They are nomadic. They goes around. So the only people who actually can help them today, they've lost in other countries in Africa. They've lost. They lost in Ghana. They lost in Senegal. They lost in Rwanda. They lost in Gambia. They lost in Guinea. So this is the only country they have left. And where they actually have power. There are about 7.something million people. Yes, about 7.something million people. Controlling 2something million people. They control over 200 million people. They are actually minorities, not even majorities. The Hausas are actually the majorities in the north. They are minorities, but they are not being heard. They are not being seen. We must wake up. Our leaders must wake up. Don't be afraid of nothing. If you're afraid, You will die. You might lose all that you are scared of not losing if you continue in this manner. Thank you guys. God bless you all. I appreciate you guys for today. See you another time again. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. See you on Monday, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be my half day. See you on Monday again. It's not easy to come out every day. This is what I do. That's what people are. Anytime I'm not online, people are always like, oh, we missed him because they know he's always online. It's going to give you heat. And it's going to give you something that is really, really, really workable. I speak on what others cannot speak on. I tread on areas others cannot tread on. Thank you every one of you. I thank you all. Happy weekend. See you Monday, God willing. Bye for now, guys.